Okay, Oak Rovers, this is a video that's going to help you solve word problems involving ages. And I still have the same 4 steps that I had in all the other problems from this packet. The first step is to define the variables. The second step is to write the equations. The third step is to solve the equations for x. And then the fourth step is to plug x into where you define the variables in step 1. So here's the problem. Number 2, George is 7 and his mother is 37. In how many years will his mother be 3 times as old as he is? So when I define the variables, I'm going to define the variables for now, and then also in how many years? X number of years from now. Okay? So I know right now George is 7. So I'll have George equal to 7. And his mom is 37. So we'll have mom equal to 37. Now, the other time that I'm looking at is an x number of years, and that's going to be in the future. So I've got to go in x number of years. So in x number of years, George is going to equal to 7 plus x, and his mom is going to be 37 plus x. Because if George is now in x years, he'll be 7 plus x. And if his mom is 37, she's going to be 37 plus x. Now, I just want you to know, we can just by reading the problem, we can tell that George is younger than mom. So we have to find out how many years. We're going to use the second part of this problem. In how many years will his mother be 3 times as old as he is to solve for x? So we want to take George's age and multiply it by 3, and that be equal to mom's age after x years. So let's try that. So I'm going to take George's age, which is x plus 7 after those years, and mom is going to be 37 plus x. And when they're equal to if they're equal to each other, I have to take George's age and multiply it by 3 to get the mom's age. Now I can use the distributive property and solve for this problem. If I do that, I have 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times x is plus 3x. And on the other side, I have 37 plus x. Since I have more x's on the left side, let's get all the x's over there. So I'll take an x off of each side. And I have 21 plus 2x is equal to 37. And then I can subtract 21 from each side. And I get 2x is equal to 16. I can divide both sides by 2. X is 8. So it's going to be 8 years. Now let's see if that works in the problem. So in 8 years, George is going to be 1/3 of his mom's age. So I'd have to multiply George's age by 3 in 8 years and get his mom's age. Let's see if that works. So in 8 years, George is going to be 7 plus 8, or 15. And in 8 years, mom's going to be 37 plus x, or 37 plus 8, or 45 years. So if I multiplied 15 by 3, I end up getting 45. So it ends up working in that problem. Let's do one more. We're going to do number 5 also. And this one's about Mrs. Ford and Mrs. Lincoln. Miss Ford is 48 and Miss Lincoln is 35. So let's define the variables right away to start. So Miss Ford equals 48. She's 48 years old right now. And Miss Lincoln, she's 35 years right now. And it says, how many years ago? So that means it was in the past. So I have to subtract x from their ages. So x years ago. And this is now up here on the top. Now Miss Ford is 48, Miss Lincoln is 35. X years ago. Well, if Miss Lincoln is 48 now, x years ago, she's going to be, or Miss Ford, excuse me, if Miss Ford is 48 right now, x years ago, she's going to be 48 minus x, and Miss Lincoln is going to be 35 minus x, x years ago. And I have to find a time when Miss Ford is exactly twice as old as Miss Lincoln. So what I have to do is I'd have to, since Miss Lincoln is younger, she'd be half the age, I'd have to multiply her age by 2 to get Miss Ford's age. So what I'm going to have is Miss Ford is 48 minus x, and that would be equal to Miss Lincoln's age times 2, because I'd have to multiply Miss Lincoln's age by 2 if Miss Ford is twice as old. Now I can use my distributive property. I have 48 minus x is equal to, 2 times 35 is 70 minus 2x. Now I have more x over here. I have negative 1x here or negative 2x here. If I add 2x to both sides, I'll end up getting a positive x, and that's kind of what I want. So I have 48 plus x is equal to 70. And then I can subtract 48 from both sides. And I end up getting x is equal to 22. So now let's plug that in and see if that worked. So 48 minus 22 is 16. Is that right? And if I do the other one, I get 35 minus 22 is equal to 13. But I made a mistake because 48 minus 22 is actually 26. Now if I take 13 times 2, I end up getting 26. So that problem will end up working if I do it that way. And that is how you do age problems when you're solving word problems.